I'm delighted today to be here for this special occasion. And I recall that the University of Cape Coast, since its establishment over 57 years ago, has conscientiously been committed to its mandate of ensuring excellence in a wide array of academic disciplines and professional domains. Delivering on this mandate has led to the production of internationally competitive and rewarding research outputs and community services over the years. These achievements reflect the quality of human capacity and intellectual endowment of the university. Both of these defining characteristics of UCC need to be showcased within and outside the country to sustain a cycle of continuous knowledge generation and transformation of lives. The time has come for the university to reward colleagues who, in the course of the academic year, position the university in an excellent light through their scholarly research endeavors. We acknowledge them today and anticipate that their research outputs will substantially improve the university's visibility, which is crucial for attracting financial and human resources to our great institution through higher regional and world rankings. In view of the importance of dissemination of evidence-based research for sustainable development, as well as its implications for the university's competitive image, the university, through the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Consultancy, that is DRIC, has over the past years funded promising individual, group-led, interdepartmental, as well as policy and practice-oriented research proposals. During the first call for proposals 4 years ago, the university management allocated 300,000 Ghana cedis for all grantees and awardees. The following year, I increased this amount to 500,000 Ghana cedis when I assumed office as Vice Chancellor. This year, which is the fourth call, we have increased the amount to 600,000 Ghana cedis. In the globalized world of today, it is imperative to link knowledge and action for sustainable development. We believe that for this linkage to blossom, first of all, we need to collaborate across academic disciplines, geopolitical regions, and spatial skills, local, national, regional, global, to generate robust knowledge that is responsive to an increasingly complex and dynamic world. Second, we need to document and accumulate existing knowledge in order to inform and sharpen our medium to long-term research agenda. Third, it is necessary to forge academia-industry partnerships that have the capacity to provide leading-edge technology solutions to the myriad of challenges we face as a nation. I, therefore, take this opportunity to inform the public that the University of Cape Coast remains committed to research and open for collaborative research efforts with other research-oriented individuals, academic institutions of higher learning, industry, and development partners for cutting-edge research activities that will advance the frontiers of knowledge for sustainable development. To give expression to this commitment, I am happy to inform you that next year, we will allocate an amount of 750,000 Ghana cedis to the 5th research support grants. On behalf of the University Council, I commend the dedicated researchers and research administrators whose research endeavors and administrative support, respectively, have made the occasion possible. And with these remarks, I say that I've accepted to chair this occasion to its logical conclusion and would invite you to participate fully and take your time and relax and be part of today's ceremony. And let the ceremony of today inspire you to higher heights. And if you were not one of the award winners, let that also inspire you to be an award winner next year. And with this, I say, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention and cooperation during this ceremony.
Thank you very much, our chairman. I thought that you give a bigger applause to the increase of 750,000 for next year's award program. We are grateful. I now invite Professor Frederick Atwama to tell us about the processes, outcomes, and expectation of RSG and BER. Shall we welcome Professor Atwama?
Thank you, MC. I'm most grateful. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to be here with us this afternoon. Growing up, kids love our day, and today is our day, so we should relish the prospect of what this day has for us, and then participate fully in the events thereof. For every forward-thinking academic institution, you want to take stock of what has happened to be able to address any gaps that you have identified, and then to plug the loopholes to ensure that you are moving according to the pace that you want and to the target that you have set. For this purpose, the University of Cape Coast is seizing this opportunity to take stock and also to show gratitude to those who have placed us up there in terms of visibility. For this particular 4th research and award grant, we can say we had the highest number of applications since the activity began 3 or 4 years ago. We had 90 applications compared to about 67 thereabout in the 3rd call. And then this also shows that colleagues are taking much more keen interest in the research calls that we roll out. 2/3 of all the applications that we had originated from teams, and in most cases, we found that the teams were cross-disciplinary and then across colleges. But there were no applicants. I want to entreat all of us that next year when we roll out that category, colleagues should apply. For all the research proposals that are being funded, we can say that they align seamlessly with the UCC research agenda. We know that we have 30 research support grants and then 7 Best Researcher Awards that are going to be rewarded today. And this will be funded in the 4th call. We will also seize the opportunity to reward the winners and participants of the World Bank-sponsored Africa Center of Excellence initiative. Those who were not successful will definitely receive certificates of participation because we recognize that it is not every proposal that you win. You win some, you lose some. but for the effort that you have put in, we need to reward you. And then we are expecting that the teams that have won the awards will collaborate effectively and make sure that they publish the research outputs in Scopus Index journals.
Pretty soon we shall be listening to the keynote address. But before that, I will humbly invite our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Dore Dubando, to present the profile and introduce our keynote speaker. Once again, let's welcome Professor Dubando.
Chairman of the program, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Joseph Gatiampia, the Registrar, Mr. Kufinian, Director of DRIC, Professor Ato Ama, distinguished Provost, Deans, distinguished awardees, good afternoon. It is my singular privilege to introduce our speaker for this afternoon's function. I must say that it is really a privilege to me because since we started, we have had only male speakers. And today, we have a distinguished speaker who is female. And it is great motivation for all of us here, especially females. I'd like to read the profile of our guest speaker, and I would encourage you to listen very well. Our speaker for today is Professor Abba Bentil Andam. Professor Abba Bentil Andam is a fellow and the immediate past president of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences. She is a chartered physicist, a particle physicist with a doctorate in cosmic radiation physics from the University of Durham, UK. She is a fellow of the United Kingdom Institute of Physics, the Ghana Institute of Physics, and the World Innovation Foundation. She is also a member of the governing board of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC, and a visiting professor at the School of Nuclear and Allied Sciences at GAEC. Professor Andam is pursuing research in natural background radiation in the School of Nuclear and Allied Sciences at GAEC. She has worked as research physicist at Deutsche Elektronensynchrotron in Hamburg, Germany, where she contributed to research on electron-positron interactions. Her research interests are in applied radiation physics, solid-state nuclear track analysis, application to environmental radon monitoring, high-energy physics, and prospects of synchrotron radiation use in Africa, as well as science education and gender equity in education. Professor Abba Andam was the first recipient of the prestigious chair for UNESCO Women in Science and Technology in Africa. She is a Wilcado Chair of Science and Technology at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She has also won the International Atomic Energy Agency Fellowship Award, and that was in 1976 to 1977, and then July to December 1991, and in November in the year 2000. And I'm very, very proud to say that she is a distinguished alumna of the University of Cape Coast. She read BSc Physics from 1969 to 1973. With a minor in mathematics, so the mathematics department can also take some credit. From 1973 to 1974. Professor Abba Bentel Andam also holds an MSc in Applied Radiation Physics from the University of Birmingham in UK. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we, with a round of applause, welcome Professor Abba Bentel Andam.
Chairman, Professor Gatiampia, Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Madam Pro-Vice Chancellor, Director of DRIC, Mr. Registrar, distinguished and happy awardees, provosts, deans, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Madam Pro-Vice Chancellor did not hammer on enough about the fact that 50 years ago, in 1969, I joined the UCC family. I thank the Lord for directing me to UCC, and finally in 1974, just 2 weeks before I had my wedding, the university granted me a BSc Honours in Physics. The first woman to be given this award, the BSc Honours Physics. It was a big thing. It was published in the newspapers those days. There was enough time and money and resources, and because there were few of us, to publish the results of UCC in the Daily Graphic. So you can imagine how on the morning of this wedding, my aunt came and was waving the Daily Graphic. And with that BSc Honours degree that the University of Cape Coast gave me, I have seen the world. I have also made a reasonable pot of gold, not to be envious of others. So I thank the University of Cape Coast, not only for giving me this BSc Honours, but actually 50 years, the year of Golden Jubilee of my joining the University of Cape Coast family, to be invited to this occasion. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, and thank you to all of you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have all heard the refrain over and over again. Ghana lags behind. Africa lags behind other countries in research and research output. So I will not hammer much on this. We all know it. But just two recent examples. In northern Italy, the city of Trieste is a famous center the Abdul Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics, ICTP, many of you know. The finance people know because the physics people and mathematics people go to them to worry them about money for tickets to go to Trieste. So in collaboration with the ICTP, there's a graduate school. In Italian, they call it Scuola Internazionale Superiore di Studio Avanti, or in regular language, the International Graduate School for Advanced Studies. CISA. They use the Italian name to abbreviate it to CISA. Now, recently, CISA celebrated its 40 years. And the recent statistics from CISA shows that of the 1,200 PhDs awarded by CISA since its inception 40 years ago, only 20 are from Africa. And of that small number, there is not a single one from Ghana. CISA awards PhDs in mathematics, physics, and allied sciences. Indeed, if there is anyone here, young people, who is good in biology, the recent PhDs from CISA, a large percentage of them are from biology, because you know that from physics you can go to chemistry and to biology and to economics. Physics is the mother of all sciences. And there is yet another significant area of research where I know that Ghana is absent, in the area of high energy physics. When Madam Pro-Vice Chancellor said, by God's provision, I worked at Hamburg, the director desperately wanted somebody to replace me when I was leaving. There was no one. So you see that there are so many areas of research on the international circuit where we can benefit as Ghanaians. So let us start from the officially accredited establishments we call research institutions, such as the Ghana Standards Authority, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, the Institute for Economic Affairs, ISA in Legon, the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, GAEC. These establishments are employment agencies. You get your degree, they employ you to spend your time in research. And then we have the higher education establishments, mainly the universities, or the military, or police, navy, and air force training establishments. These institutions are essentially of a formation-making nature. As an individual, you go in as a kind of apprentice. You are expected or trained to acquire some skills, including skills for research. At the completion of your studies, you are awarded your degree. But research in any field can therefore be said to be a very powerful tool for discovery and innovation. And true research involves data collection, data storage, the availability of resources for data retrieval, data analysis and interpretation, and then dissemination of results and using your results to plan for the future. To collect data, we can do it from experimental effort, or those in theory, they can just generate a set of data by simulation and use it to process and to make predictions. But data collection and interpretation should be done truthfully. Even when we find that the results appear not to add to what we already know. The results could be different from what we already know. We, as researchers, are expected to put down the results in an honest manner, because who knows, these results can lead on to different discoveries altogether. And in data storage and retrieval, these days we have the use of computer network, which makes it possible that we can store large data and have it accessible to a large number of people. For example, in the 1970s, several universities in the UK had such an arrangement. It was called NUMAC, the Northumbrian Multiple Access Computer, which made it possible that data stored on it can be retrieved and used. For example, I was taking a PhD program in Durham, which was about 20 miles from Newcastle upon Tyne, where I was staying. When I couldn't go to Durham, I could just stay in the Newcastle upon Tyne, a bit like Cape Coast and Secondary Takoradi, and still get the data that I was using for my research. So this is possible even in those days, and now very much useful for us. So data analysis and interpretation and dissemination of results. All these require that we do things in an honorable manner. I'm glad that there are young people here, but I'm sure that those who are not here will also get to know of this program and what was said here. Because I have worked at UCC and KNUST and Legon at different times, I will not mention the particular university where this happened. But I was presented with two theses. And one of them, let's say that one was called Mensa, the other was called Bentel. Now, this person had copied ditto from his friend to the extent that in his acknowledgement, he was saying, and I thank my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mensa. When you yourself have a different, so of course I gave both dissertations to the head of department, and they will have 0, of course, you will all agree. So to actually analyze and present results in a truthful and honorable manner is something that those in research ought to do, however much they think that it hurts them. You are expected as a researcher to be truthful in what you report. In the 21st century, the universities have pride of place, special place. We all remember that UCC was in the news recently as the venue for the biennial conference of the Ghana Science Association, celebrating its 60th year. And the newspaper report of the conference informed the public that our Vice-Chancellor made remarks about how the low intake of students into science-based programs was really difficult for the universities. Modern-day science is a multifaceted endeavor with huge budgets. No longer the individual tabletop experiments of Faraday's era. Publications from joint collaborations sometimes have an entire page listing the authors before one can turn to the abstract. We also heard the director of Drake pointing out that a lot of the research have interdisciplinary nature. So this is the way that research is now moving. And one such large collaboration which Ghana can benefit from is a collaboration called LAMP, L-A-A-A-M-P. This means the Light Sources for Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Middle East project. LAMP is a collaboration of the International Union of Pure and Applied Physics, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the International Union of Crystallography, the International Council for Science, and the Open Sesame, which is a Middle East project. Crystallography was a very vibrant area of research here at UCC. I recollect that for my BSc dissertation, my supervisor led a team from UCC Department of Physics all the way to Nyinahini in Ashanti region to collect samples. We know also that from the Department of Physics, there have been the LAFOC and a collaboration with the African Light Source Project has received support from the international funding community. There is the possibility that the African synchrotron will be situated in Ghana. Our president has given his verbal support. But wherever it is situated on the African continent, the country of Ghana stands to gain, and we should prepare ourselves. In addition, the country is now moving towards the possibility of a nuclear power plant. So this is really the time when scientists and those in humanities put ourselves together as collaborations, research collaborations, to tap into the opportunities that will come from these big projects. And it is a good time that the University of Cape Coast is recognizing the work of researchers and giving honor where it is due. Madam Pro-Vice Chancellor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, the special role that women ought to play. We need to make special mention of the role that women can play. And I'm glad that the University of Cape Coast is in the forefront. From the one BSc honors degree awarded to me, there has been a number of women now in physics, different branches of physics. There are many areas where the University of Cape Coast alumni are using their degrees to shine. But we cannot brush aside the imbalance of women to men in science careers in Ghana. It is similar to what we find in many parts of the developing world, and indeed in the developed world. Why is it that women now harbor so much on imbalances all over the world? In Ghana, because of the free compulsory universal basic education, the FQB in the past, all children were registered, expected to be registered, and at primary school we had a 1-to-1 ratio of boys to girls. Why is it that by the time they are in senior high school and at university, the ratio is so much lopsided? We have different aspects which pulls women back. stereotyping is one of them, the attitude of teachers, the attitude of parents and family members, peer pressure, and the girls themselves. Some of the girls think that to attract the attention of boys, you need to pretend that you are completely helpless and ignorant about technical issues. So the school, as a mirror of the society, sees this. But because of intervention strategies at the senior high school, the National Science and Mathematics Quiz, and the Ghana Science Clinic for Girls, we see that various aspects have moved. It's good that now we have direct intake into the different science departments in the University of Cape Coast. This is good. But also, Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor, Madam Pro-Vice Chancellor, distinguished provosts and deans, maybe one can hold an interdisciplinary colloquium looking at the teaching syllabus. How does the teaching syllabus affect the intake of students? Because in the past, in KNUST, for example, the students were complaining that what they were being taught was raw physics. So there was an overhaul of the teaching syllabus. For 2 years, the first 2 years, they were taught physics, as they call it, raw physics, because you cannot run away from the basics. But following that can be a mix of physics with medical physics, physics with computing, and physics with modern language. Today, the newspaper is out, advertisement is out for Chinese language. Mr. Vice Chancellor, Madam Pro-Vice Chancellor, let's see that the University of Cape Coast will produce the first batch of scientists who are studying their science with modern language, including Chinese. And the experience of KNUST was that this mix of different categories of science and even humanities with physics produced some very good graduates. Some of them with the French that they were taking from the Department of Physics, some got enough interest to go into the Alliance Française office in Kumasi to top up and get a diploma from the Alliance Française. So what would you like? We would like a UCC graduate who has the skills to branch out, the skills to be a diplomat with the UCC degree, and the skills to delve into what they need for their work. This is research. So it can never be overemphasized that modern universities stand as an important pivot for research work and research output to enable this country to move forward. And in aiming for research, it is good that even for the BSc dissertation, there is opportunity for research. But please, sir, and madam, and distinguished ladies, the end of the apprenticeship in universities is the PhD. The PhD level is the level where you get to, you know that you know more than your supervisor, but you are too polite to let them know. So we should aim at UCC to have the end of the apprenticeship at PhD. Thank you for your attention.
I believe you can do better. Thank you very much, Professor Andam, for your presentation. I will invite our Pro-Vice Chancellor to make a presentation to our keynote speaker. And the chairman of the committee will decorate our keynote speaker. Yeah. Thank you very much. And the cash award is 6,982 cedis. Next on the list is Dr. Ishaku Adam. Dr. Ishaku Adam. Right. So I will call Dr. Michael Boachi Yadon. They are receiving plus cash awards and then certificates. Next is Dr. Musa Tuare. Dr. Francis Kumi. Thank you very much, Pro VC. Prof. Wampong. And so I invite Dr. Abednego Kofi Pansa. Thank you, Dr. Bansa. It's now the turn of Dr. Ivy Kesua Nkrumah. Next is Dr. Nazir Kizi Hayford. Shall we please applaud our awardees? We are not applauding them for their efforts. Ms. Dorothy Irabna Adumesa. Next is Dr. Mrs. Salome Emisa Issa. Congratulations, Dr. Emisa Issa. Prof, thank you very much. Professor Amokando will do us the honors by presenting the next set. The next set is the group-led RSGs. I now invite Dr. Patrick Edu. Dr. Patrick Edu. Why are you not applauding them? You have a tall list to go, so please be ready to applaud them. Congratulations, Dr. Edu. Now we can turn our attention to the group-led RSGs. And to commence this set, I invite Dr. Isaac Dasmani. There are two others in the group, and they are Dr. Samuel K. Ndazi and Dr. Martin Bosompim, but Dr. Dasmani will represent them. Thank you very much. For the group-led presentations, we crave the indulgence of other team members to kindly sit down for their leaders to take it on their behalf. Certainly, whatever goes in, when we step out, the ratios will be done. Next on my list is Dr. Ufela Kombi, and the other group member is Dr. Levy Jafeto, but Dr. Levy will kindly sit down as Ufela pays. Well, the status quo has been changed again, so Levy is not around. Next, to follow Dr. Moses Tay and Professor Victor Y.A. Bakun. Thank you. Professor Chu Baku, please don't go yet. Remain standing. Next is Professor Victor Y. Achubaku, Dr. Alex Boy, and Dr. Desmond O. Achampo. Thank you very much. Dr. Desmond O. Achampo and Dr. Godwin Kwachimiakun and Mr. Daniel Amwakun Sechi. Thank you very much, and thank you, Prof. Amukando. Thank you very much. Professor Jojo Igan, please help us with the presentation. Dr. Samuel Victor Nouveau, Dr. Dokas Obriyabua, Mr. Evans Kofi Obo, Mr. Emmanuel Salia, you are the next to receive your presentation. Thank you very much. Mr. Jacob Nunu, Dr. Joshua Sebu, Dr. Francis Talley, and then Dr. Adams Serekwon. Congratulations and thank you. Next to come, Dr. Lydia Framia Denchi, Dr. Vera Ahin, Mrs. Joyce Pachua Denchi, Dr. John Eko Lae. Thank you very much. Dr. Mrs. Evelyn Amma Asamoah Ampofu, Dr. Raphael Edu Jemfi, Dr. Dokas Obiri Yabua, Ms. Anna Hefren Benjamin, Dr. Andrews Ajedruye, Dr. Mrs. Nazi Ebu, Dr. Susanna Abba Abraham, and Mr. Isaac Komi Tete. Dr. Bukari Nuaga, Mr. Richard Ametepe, Dr. Baba Ahmed, Dr. Shaibu Bukari. Thank you very much. And the last in this category, Dr. Mark Anthony Kobler, Mrs. Paulina Aful Arthur, Mr. Christopher Kwame Filson, Mrs. Gloria Tichidonko, Ms. Diana Atrasi, and Mr. Ebenezer Martin Yabua. Thank you, Professor Egan. I kindly invite Professor Galeon to help us with presentation. Next, we have interdepartmental RSGs. And to begin this set, Dr. Vera Ahin, Dr. Samuel Yao Ampofu, Dr. Beatrice Asante Somua, Dr. Lydia Framia Denchi, Dr. John Ekolaye, Dr. Joyce Pachua Denchi, Mr. Moses Sebenya, Dr. Paul Ejay Mensah. They are receiving 3,000 Ghana cedis for their award. 30,000, sorry. He didn't take me to lunch, so I begin to see stars. 30,000 Ghana cedis, yes. The lunch is very important. Thank you very much. I now invite Reverend Father Dr. Anthony Kwabena Nti, Dr. Eugene Meleji. They are also taking 30,000 Ghana cedis. Thank you. Next, Mr. Daniel Amakusich, Dr. Sobri Eboa, Dr. Yawa Santia Upu, Dr. Yvonne Net, Dr. Isien Pedu, Dr. Sebastian Ken Amwa, Dr. Emmanuel Okai, Mr. George Ajay, and Dr. Kwejo A. Kusi. Thank you. Dr. Samuel Kofi Agloti, Professor Augustine Tanley, Dr. Isaiah Adam, Dr. Mrs. Georgina Ya Odro, you are next. Thank you very much, and they take 29,270 Ghana cedis. Next, Professor Ernest Ekwabano, Dr. Michael Osei Edu, Dr. Enoch Peson, Dr. Martin Bosompim, Ms. Josephine Ifwa Fosua, Ms. Faustina Ohini Ejay, and Mr. Justice Ochre. Thank you, and we are done with this segment. We now move to policy and practice RSGs. And I invite Dr. James Atapepra, Dr. Mrs. Grace Ufuri Abebese, Mr. Kwabena Nkasa Dafo, Dr. Benedict Afo Jr., and Mr. Isaac Kwejo Enim. Their cash award is 50,000 cedis. Thank you, Professor Galleon, and I'll invite Professor Davis to take the last set for us. Professor Hiron Tete Asare, Professor Elvis Asare Bediako, Dr. Sheila M. Tegu, Dr. Emmanuel Plasoke, Mrs. Rosemond E. Pobi, Mr. Alex White, Dr. Alex Adum, and Mr. Joshua Yabua Esiaman. They are taking 49,764 Ghana cedis. Prof, this is what is on paper. Thank you very much, Professor Davis. Please can resume your seats. Congratulations to all our deans. We now continue with the presentation. Dr. Eneste, the Best Evolving Researcher Award, will do a presentation of 10 minutes, and then he'll be followed by Dr. Taidoku, who will also take 10 minutes to make a presentation, after which the program will continue.
Professor Chair, because 10 minutes is part of the protocols, permit me to go straight to my presentation, because so that I will not waste too much time. Now, actually, this work started 7 years ago, and we have achieved a lot of things. So today, my presentation is titled, Taking the Lab to the Sample to Improve Food Integrity and Overcome Food Fraud. My outline, I have five main areas I want to tackle, but straight, let me go to the introduction. Food integrity is paramount to every consumer and a key player in achieving global food security and improving consumer health. However, the rise in population and climate change and weak control system, coupled with the greed for unjustified profit margin, has resulted in a lot of food fraud incidents worldwide. Example can be the fake rice news that we all heard. We also know of adulterated sugar that happened in Kenya, expired fish product happening globally, adulterated olive oil, adulterated flour, and even the milk case that was also seen in China, and even now is also global. In our own country, the Sudan dye adulteration. Most of these fraudulent activities go unnoticed, with its huge health and economic impact. It is valued about $10 billion annually, the issue of food fraud and food illicit trade of food. It is also known to be a major cause of cancers and illnesses globally. A typical example is what I just captured before coming here. Detectives saved Kenya from 1 million bags of toxic rice. Then in Ghana, palm oil contaminated with carcinogenic dye. Now, why are all these food fraud incidents happening unnoticed? This is because the analytical method that is used to detect this at the port takes relatively a long time, coupled with the fact that our laboratories in Africa is also very poorly resourced. It is also very expensive because you need to import chemicals to do this analysis. It also involves chemical use that sometimes is poisonous to the environment or pollutes the environment. Again, there is the case of random sampling. That means that some of the samples can scale through as well. For instance, if there is a scanner that everybody has to go through, and you look at somebody's face and say, you don't resemble a suicide bomber, so don't go through. You resemble one, so go through. You will see that some of them can escape this technique. It is also not suitable for real-time analysis. That means that you cannot take it to where the sample is mostly needed. Now, what is the solution to all this problem that I have mentioned? We need a portable, non-destructive technique. We also need a technique that uses no chemical because of global warming and climate change and environmental impact. We also need a technique that requires little training. We need a technique that can be applied on site. We need a technique that is rapid and fast. Because when you are dealing with food, by the time you come out with the result, the food might have been consumed. So you need a technique that is very fast. It should also be cost-effective, and it should be environmentally friendly. Now, the application of NIR seems to answer all these advantages aforementioned. NIR can be applied in food, agriculture, pharmacy, textile, and someone will say it's even ubiquitous in most of the field. What does it do? It's able to screen the sample without necessarily destroying the sample, as can be seen from the picture. Now, the first work done so far, we've been able to use what we call novel application of handheld NIR spectrometer coupled with mobile phone for global rice integrity. So this is a picture that Agilent Foundation the sponsor helped us we were able to go to the market to interview market women, those who sell rice, that what do you think is affecting your rice business? And they were able to tell us that the fake rice news crippled their business because a lot of consumers' confidence went down. They were not eating rice. Okay, so we came back to the lab with a simple technique that is a handheld NIR spectrometer, a mobile phone, a scanner, and a trained scientist like myself. We head-on try to solve this problem. Next. Now, after solving the problem, we then went back to the marketplace because we wanted it to be as simple as possible. We went to the marketplace to train the market women as to how to use the mobile phone and the app to detect high-quality rice. And we were able to do that. Again, another challenge, to be able to combine it so that parallelly this work can also benefit Ghana, we were able to borrow the technology to try and see if it can also detect Sudan dye adulteration in palm oil. And this proved very successful at the initial stages. Next slide. Key findings so far. So far, we can confidently say that with our technology, you can detect fake rice, adulterated rice, even rice from country of origin. So for instance, if you get a notice, an alarm that the country is having some fake rice being imported into Ghana, this app can detect rice from Vietnam, Thailand, India, and Ghana.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My presentation is on the effects of women's empowerment on neonatal mortality and infant and under-5 mortality in low and middle-income countries. This work is a collaborative work with a colleague from Finland and another one from University of Toronto, Canada. I'm very happy that Madam Chair has emphasized the need for us to encourage women to take up the challenge in science. And I want to emphasize the need also for us to encourage women if we want to make progress towards the Sustainable Development Goal, particularly those goals that are related to child survival. The burden of neonatal, infant, and under-5 mortality is very high in low and middle-income countries. Even though through the Millennium Development Goals, a lot of progress has been made in many countries. But overall, only
24 out of the 139 low and middle income countries have achieved the targets of reducing under 5 mortality by 2/3 between 1990 and 2015. That tells us that there is a lot of work to be done in that area. Because of the unfinished agenda of the Millennium Development Goal, at the beginning of 2015, the world sat down and set another goal, the Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 3.2 of that targets reducing neonatal mortality to 12 deaths per 1,000 live birth, and under 5 mortality to 25 per 1,000 live birth by the year 2030. Gender equality and women's empowerment is critical for economic, social, and sustainable development. So child survival and women's empowerment are important global public health concerns and indeed important sustainable development goals. Effort to address these menace normally focus on what we call the immediate causes. Things like intrapartum related events, pneumonia, sepsis, and diarrhea. And they are rightly so, because that is what we see. When clinicians sit in the consulting room, that is what they authenticate as the cause of death of an infant or a neonate. However, there are other distal factors, what we call the causes of causes, which in most cases, in our effort to address these issues, we pay less attention to them. And one of such is women empowerment. So we anticipated that women's empowerment is such an important distal factor which could influence child survival. And we sought to look at what is the level of this issue in low and middle income countries. We noticed that there is no standard. Low and middle income, they are so diverse, from Africa to Asia, and even in some countries in Europe. So we wanted to find out what is the most important tool that we can use to measure really empowerment, and how can we use that in the context of the diverse countries. So we investigated the effect of women's empowerment on neonatal infant and under 5 mortality in 59 low and middle income countries.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Professor Chair, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocol duly observed. I'm here to take us through the UCC Drake Researchers Portal. In line with the Vice Chancellor's vision to see to it that we have what we inculcate a culture of digitization, the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Consultancy, in collaboration with the MIS section under the auspices of the Directorate of ICT, has been able to come up with this application or piece of software. It's made up of 2 modules. The first one is for the application for conferences, when faculty members or researchers are supposed to go for conferences. What we know is that we normally do it through the paper-based system. This time around, we are going fully digital. So any person who is supposed to go for a conference is supposed to do it through this particular portal. Then we also have the virtual money calculator, which I will take us through very briefly. So when we fully deploy it, we would make the URL available to all concerned. So this is the interface. It has been developed in such a way that we are supposed to log in using our UCC Gmail account to make life very easier and comfortable for us. So I'm just going to use a UCC account, Gmail account. Then I'll enter my password. So when you log in, this is where it brings you to. There are 2 main things you can do over here. That's the application for conferences, and then the virtual money application. So we are going to go through how we can go about doing the application for conferences. So I come to apply for travel support. Then it gives me this form. This one looks like what our researchers or faculty members who have been going for conferences have been using already. So you're supposed to provide the date that you will be departing, the date you are supposed to return. Then you indicate the purpose of your visit. Maybe you are going to present a paper. Then you indicate the title of paper. So because we don't have time, I'll just be putting in just some things for us to just see how it works. Then you indicate whether your paper is co-authored or not. If you say yes, it will ask you to provide the name of your co-authors. So you are supposed to provide the names. Then over here, it requires for details about when you did the presentation of your paper at the department or faculty or college. So you indicate the date. Then you provide the name of the person who chaired. Then you will also be asked whether you've been able to attend a conference in the last 2 years. It's a yes or no. When you say yes, you're supposed to indicate whether the conference was fully funded by UCC, or whether it was partially funded, or whether it was not funded. So I would say it was partially funded.
Pro-Vice Chancellor, Registrar, our guest speaker, Provost, Director of Drake, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we've all seen the app that is supposed to make things easier for you to be able to apply for conferences and also to earn virtual money. The money, when you earn it, you will get it when you need it. So you get points, and the points are converted to money. So if you're going for a conference which will cost $2,000, for example, we will give you $1,500, but then you need $2,000. So if you have virtual money, then you apply and you look at it and you see that you have $700. Then you apply for $500 to be added to your $1,500, and then you can attend the conference. So that is the whole idea, is to be able to accumulate points, and then it will be converted to money for you, and when you need it for conferences, then you will apply for it and then you will get it. So it is not for any other thing apart from conferences. Not that when you are broke, you come and apply and then you get it. And I'm happy that we're doing these things because this is in line with my vision of digitization. And we want to digitize as many things as possible in the university. And I must also say that we have developed a lot of these in the system. And we'll continue to develop a lot more. And I think that there has to be some training in all the colleges for you to see how to fill the forms and be conversant with it. Then thereafter, we can teach each other when we are not able to find our way out of that. So I am happy that we have the UCC Drake Researchers Portal, and then we have the accumulation of virtual points, which will be converted to money. And these two apps, if we fill them, then we'll be able to do things easily. The aspect of it which I'm very happy about is also the tracking aspect, where you can track to see where the application has reached. Sometimes people say people are sitting on their applications. So when you apply, you can see where it is. And if you think that it has unduly delayed at a certain point, then you can make complaints about it, and then that could be rectified. And this is very good for both the UCC Drake researchers portal and the virtual accumulation of virtual points. But I must also then say that we need to develop a similar app to help us track our application for promotion. Yes. And since Drake has been able to develop this, they should easily be able to customize us into an application for promotion app where you can track where your promotion has got into. And then that will be very easy, so you will not always have to be going up and down asking head of department, dean, provost, the director of, you go and you knock the door and the person is not there, you have to come another time. If we do all this on the portal, then it will be easy for us. Then I believe that the apprehensions and the complaints and the frustrations will be reduced to the barest minimum. So with this, I'm happy to launch the UCC Drake Researchers Portal and then the accumulation of virtual points. Duly launched today, the 3rd of September, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you very much, VC. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we get into the second stage of our award presentation. We will do it very fast so that we can go and continue with our work. And now I'll invite our registrar to do us the honors by presenting these awards. And first on the list, the Best Evolving Researcher, Dr. Ernest Tay. Thank you very much. And the next is Dr. Tai Doku, the Best Evolved. Thank you very much. And Dr. Anester received 4,000 CDs. And Dr. Tay, 6,000. Isaac, 9 there. Right. Best College Research Awards. Co-host, we have Dr. Stephen Bukansi. And the cash award is 3,000 cedis. Next is Dr. Stephen Moore. Dr. Stephen Moore from Cairns. Dr. Moore also received 3,000 cedis. Next is Dr. Christopher Kwa from College of Education Studies. And the last for this category is Dr. Shaku Adam from CHLS. Dr. Shaku is not here, so you come for his 3K later. Mr. Register, please resume your seat as I invite Director of Drake to continue the last set. The last set is for Africa Center of Excellence Awards. And the first on the list is Professor Dennis Wolanyo Aheto. And with this category, they are receiving plaques, certificates, and probably handshakes. Hugs have been added onto the list. Next is Dr. Precious Agbeku Mata. Next, Dr. Donatus Anuren. Next to come is Dr. Nobo Kwame Asari. Mrs. Sika Abrokwa. I move on to Mr. Joshua Adote. And the last is Miss Ivy Akwoku Jima.
I'm very happy that at long last we have been able to have the ceremony, and it's been good. And I think we've all comported ourselves and have participated fully in this program. So I say, are you cool to all of you? Okay, I didn't hear the response. Exactly so. I wish to take this opportunity, therefore, to thank very much our keynote speaker, Professor Ababentel Andam, for a brilliant speech and the challenge to UCC for innovation in its curriculum. Madam, we have heard you, and we will be looking at it. we've celebrated our awardees for their participation in various endeavors and winning prizes of all kinds. So for all those who have been able to do this, we say, Ayuko, and we believe that those of us who are yet to receive will work hard, and next year it will be our turn. And I believe that those who have received this year, they will not rest. They will want to see whether they can receive again the next year. So it is a competition, and it is a competition which is worth it. I'm also happy that we've made strides with the device for determining food quality and food fraud using the companion app and the smart phone. I believe that we need to take this further and showcase it and make it something that will generate income for the university as well as the individuals who have worked so hard to produce this. I must also say that the University of Cape Coast, under my leadership, will support the Africa Center of Excellence for Food Safety, Fraud, and Authenticity. So when we get the proposal, we will see where we can get the money. UCC will provide some money. We will also go looking for money, and we shall have the Center of Excellence. I'm happy that at long last, the 4th Research Awards and Grants ceremony has come to see the light of day. And thank you all for participating. University ceremonies are for university staff, and this ceremony is ours. If we don't participate, I don't know who will participate. When we come, we learn new things, and we get insights from what people are doing, and maybe be able to conceptualize our own work differently. And also, we get motivation from what we see. All those who have received monies and will receive monies, we know you put them to good use and produce the results as expected. And with this, we thank each and every one of you, and God be with you. Thank you.
Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'd like to know the significance of today's program to UCC as a whole, to Ghana and the research community.
Yes. You realize that the university is a place of research, and it's people who do research. Therefore, today's ceremony is to showcase those who have been doing research and who intend to do research in various areas of specialization. And for the entire university and the nation at large, of course the whole world, to know what we are doing here in the university. So we want to broadcast what we do. Yes.
So what is the way forward for research in Ghana?
The way forward for research in Ghana is for us to get a lot more people involved in research, because as we heard today, the number of research we have from Africa is low. So we need to increase that number. And today is to motivate those who are doing research to do more, and those who have not been doing very well in research to also get motivation from those who are doing the research, so that we will be able to have more impact in terms of research in this world. For Africa must rise. Yes.
So your final words or words of advice and recommendation to all the awardees?
I say Ayuko to all the awardees. They have done very, very well. This was a competition, and of course, they have come out tops. And so I encourage them to soar higher. And for those who did not win, another time is there so they can prepare. and then come on board. So everybody is welcome.
Dr. Tay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'd like you to tell me how this, what this award means to you, and then the way forward for research.
Yes, this award means so much to me. It's very encouraging if you are doing something and your university appreciate that. It's very inspiring, and it has really made me think that what I'm doing is important, and I need to continue. Research is very important for any nation's development, and as a nation, Ghana, we need to take research very seriously. As an academic institution, we need to invest in research. So I'm very grateful that the university has organized, and for the past 4 years, continue to organize this occasion to acknowledge the work we do and to appreciate the work that we do in this field.
So what do you, where can we find this research documentation? Where is it found? Journals, or where can we access?
This work has been submitted to the journal, the British medical journal, Global Health. It has been accepted. I think in a couple of weeks it will be out to be published, and everybody can read. I think the central message is this, that we have to take women empowerment very seriously. It takes a man and a woman to develop a nation, so we can't leave women out. We have to encourage them. We have to encourage them to stay in school and to get the highest degree as much as possible. I think one thing that we can also do in our small corner as a university is to maybe create some small space for them to feel comfortable in the classroom. I attended a school where during my master's we sat in a class with babies, women with babies. So we can also be a bit friendly to women and their children in class. If not at the undergraduate level, maybe at the master's level, we can allow women to bring their children, and that is fine. So we can do the very little that we can to support this thing. Thank you.
This award means a lot to me. It shows that when you are working behind the scene and no one sees you, at the end one day it will bring some laurel. I think I am so happy that I have won such an award. Yeah.
So what should we expect after today?
Now, what you should expect is that we're going to use our technology to help the industry by consumers as well to detect food fraud and food safety. For instance, we all know of the Sudan dye adulteration. We all know of the plastic rice situation that came. So our technology can rapidly, within 20 seconds, detect fake rice. It can also detect adulterated palm oil, which is now becoming a serious case in West Africa, especially Ghana and other parts of Africa. So our technology is now going to be placed on the market or given to food control experts so that they can use to detect our red oil. And in so doing, they are going to assure consumers, and consumers' confidence is going to be built. So this award is just bringing out a lot of the work we have done so far.
So what would be your final words and words of advice to your colleagues out there who are also working on research?
Yeah, my final words is that whatever research you do should address a problem in Ghana or a problem in your location and a global problem. So our research, for instance, we tackled rice fraud. We are now tackling plastic palm oil adulteration. And palm oil is local to Ghana, rice is global. So I will entreat all researchers to look at these two divergent views, your local and then international. So that is how I, for one, am inspired to work in that way. Solve my local problem and solve a global problem. Yeah, you're welcome.
I would like you to explain to us what the significance of this award means to you. What does this award actually mean to you?
Okay, first of all, we won the Interdepartmental Research Award. That's about 30,000 Ghana cedis to do this research. Our research mainly focuses on application of what we call AFLASAFE GH2, and then application of biomass solar dryer to control aflatoxin contamination in maize in Ghana. We know that aflatoxin is a very dangerous thing that we are all facing, especially in maize. It's very carcinogenic, and we realize that it is airborne. Okay, so what that means is that most of the soils that we have in Ghana contain some aflatoxin, and so when you use it to grow crops, obviously that will go into the crops and it will affect all of us because it's carcinogenic. If you eat it, it gives you cancer. Good. So our research is to use this AflaSafe that have been developed by USDA, KNUST, and IITA in Nigeria. So what we simply want to do is to apply this AflaSafe on the soil, use it to grow maize, and then apply the what we call solar dryer, biomass solar dryer, so that we can dry this maize very well and determine the aflatoxin contamination in it. So basically that is what it means a lot to us because we want to do research that would help all of us, solve our problems. And we know most of our people eat maize in kenke and all kinds of stuff. So if we're able to solve this aflatoxin contamination, it means that we'll be eating healthy food and we'll be healthy people and it will help all of us. So that's basically why we are doing this research. Well, after the award, we will have to go to the field. We are doing production. So we'll go to the field, prepare the land, grow maize, using the AflaSafe, and then we develop the dryer, use it to dry, vis-a-vis what the farmers are doing. So we want to compare with what the local people. Normally they dry on tarpaulins and all of that, but we want to design a biomass solar dryer, mimicking what the GTZ designed. That is a German-based company, so that we can prove to farmers that indeed when you use this technology, it enhances or it reduces the contamination in maize. And we know that, last year, for example, I was the team leader that went around the country to select the best farmer. And Nestle Ghana was one of them that actually gave an award we call Quality Maize Award. And in this quality maize, they were looking at aflatoxin contamination of less than 15 ppm, parts per million. And so if we're able to do that, it means that, it will benefit all of us. Company like Nestle Ghana Limited that uses maize to do Cerelac, will be able to, encourage farmers to, and once you have quality maize, you will sell at a premium. So that means more money for farmers. So basically that's what we want to do. After we go to the field, do the research, bring on board farmers, our stakeholders, so that it benefits all of us. My final word is that we should encourage research in Ghana, because I have been to many countries, Holland, China, England, and I realized that they are doing research that will help their country. And so as a nation, we should be able to sponsor research that will help benefit our nation. Thank you.